Yo, what's up, all you burner stoners and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there, Mrs. Weedman?
Mr. Weedman?
How are you?
Whoa, I'm well. How are you? Fantastic, I should say.
I love it. Hey, all you vipers out there in the world. Hope you're smoking some big fat doinks while you're listening to the show. Mrs. Weedman and I are about to get normal with some Vegas candy. And this was a cut that came from our friend Midwest Terps, but Mrs. Weedman and I grew this beauty outdoors to a lovely 7-foot plant, and we're finally getting to smoke it after the cure. And I tell you what, Mrs. Weedman smoked, and I smoked it last night, and we were high. Very high.
Definitely rates high on the aroma
Oh, yes.
and flavor.
Oh, yes. So the Vegas Candy Cannabis strain is a hybrid, often noted as a 50-50 balance of slightly sativa dominant, known for its sweet, fruity, and grassy aroma, and high THC content. It's a cross between Super Buff Cherry 26. THC content typically ranges from 22 to 25%, or sometimes even higher. Aroma and flavor, caramel, berry, tons of citrus, and grassy for sure, with an herbal undertone. The appearance, it produces dense buds that are often described as purple. It was starting to get purple. We cut it probably about a week early.
We had to.
Yeah, it was getting so dry outside and so just.
And there were storms due.
Yeah, and it was about to get cold.
We were at the end of grow.
So we got a little nervous, but it still had purple leaves. Didn't get the full purpleness that I would have liked to have seen, but it was such a pretty trichome, just frosty nugs. It was amazing. So the effects, users can expect a blend of both indica and sativa effects, offering a relaxing and potentially uplifting experience. It has been associated with general enjoyment, relaxation, and potential pain relief. I will tell you this. We smoked this last night. Mrs. Weedman and I had phenomenal conversation. So many laughs and fun little one-liners, and it was a great strain for something new we haven't smoked yet, and it was a lot of fun. This show had my brain buzzing last night when I was working on the show. I was really, really, really into the show, putting together the show last night. I was coming up with these one-liners going, ooh, sounds good, but I don't know if I should say that. It was kind of funny. This is phenomenal. So I'd like to thank Midwest Terps for the cut. I really appreciate it. It is a phenomenal strain. And if you come check us out at the Urban Legend Cup this Sunday, I may have some with me that I'll be rolling some joints with and some doinks with for some people. So while I smoke, Mrs. Weeman's going to tell you about 8decades.com, her baby.
Yes. Swing on over to 8decades.com. That's EIGHT, not the number. It is the number, but spelled out. 8decades.com. We created the 8 Decades brand as an extension of the Weedman 420 Chronicles podcast to continue our advocacy through products that are just meant for the cannabis consumer. Stop stashing your goods, put them out on your table. They're super durable, lifelong smoke set, lots of cute accessories. We have hemp clothing from Young Maven, just lots of goodies.
Yeah.
And we also have Weedman 420 swag. So swing over if you haven't signed up for our newsletter. That is like a non-existent newsletter because I'm a ding-dong. I've sent one.
But it was a very good one.
I'll get around to it. But sign up for the newsletter and eventually you'll get one, maybe.
Christmas time, maybe.
Yeah, New Year's. And you will get, for sure, free shipping on your first order. I can guarantee that. So check us out at 8decades.com, and you'll also find your Weedman 420 swag there. Yeah.
Also, the temperature here in Chicago dropped, and 8 Decades has phenomenal beanies, scarves, a Weedman beanie.
Yep.
Also, great sweatshirts and hoodies. It is cold. Chicago all of a sudden went from 60 to 29 degrees in a matter of 48 hours. And snow on the ground. Crazy weather here. So, also, 8 Decades has a new partner alert. Ding, 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 ding. New partner alert. Cookies, Bolingbrook, Illinois, located at 190 South Weber Road, Bolingbrook, Illinois, for the best selection of cannabis flower, edibles, vapes, and concentrates, along with fantastic sales and savings. If you're a local Bolingbrook resident, show your zip code for some extra savings. I'd like to thank Amanda, John, Dennis, and the whole team for our partnership with Cookies Bolingbrook. So check out Cookies Bolingbrook, and you get to see up close and personal the 8 Decades brand. Go support Cookies Bolingbrook, everybody. And I'd like to thank them and all of our partners across this great state of Illinois for taking a chance on 8 decades and showing some love to us. We appreciate you. So, also, the last commercial, the Urban Legend Cup. 3 days until the fun starts. On a dark, stony night, legend has it that Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster were visited by a ghost that shared with them the dankest nug ever grown. Now, these legends are forever on a quest to find who grew the legendary nug, and maybe it's you. The Urban Legend Cup brings together cannabis growers and enthusiasts alike for a day of friendly competition, a flower celebration, all to determine who is growing the dankest bud in Chicago. Urban Legend Cup, 3 entries are now open with home grower, pro grower bracket. All skill levels are welcome. Entry runs through November 13th, which the show may already have aired before you get a chance to, but November 13th is the last day for entry, with drop-offs all over Chicagoland. You have plenty of chances to enter. All entries receive a cannabinoid test, and each of the 6 category winners receive a custom Hetty Glass trophy from Otto's Glass.
Mhm.
Otto's the man. New to 2025 is the VIP judging experience hosted by our friends over at Made Gallery. Judges samples using the Ganjier informed grading criteria and judge yourself who is the urban legend. Go to highfocusmedia.com/HLC for full details and tickets. Use the code for 10% off any ticket. All caps, Weed Man. We're looking forward to November 16th at the Urban Legend Cup. We'll be at Kaiser Tiger, rolling doinks. Mrs. Weedman will be preaching the 8 decades lore. And we're looking forward to seeing all the vendors and all the people we get to know and talk and roll doinks. Come and try some of Mr. Weedman's new bud. And then I also have some bud from some other growers I know. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's a growers event.
So I'll probably
there's
have
gonna
some
be
from Igneous. I'll probably have some
really
Big
good.
Earl. If I have any Midwest Terps left, well, I do have his cut, so you get to try his cut. And if you are a home grower or somebody that's entered the contest and you come over our table and you give Mr. or Mrs. Weedman a nug, enough for us to roll a joint, could be just one nice nug, give us your name, your handle, and the nug's name and where we can find the information about the bud. And we, as we always do, the rule is if you give me a bud, we smoke it on the show.
Mhm.
So if you're a grower out there and you want us to try your weed on the show, please, please, please give us more weed. Doesn't have to be a lot, just enough to roll a joint. So if you have 2, 3, 4 strains you want to give us a nug for, we'll smoke and throw you shout outs. We love it. We love spreading the good word and the love for all your hard work and what you get to grow out there, whether you're a cultivator in the industry or you're a home grower or a traditional market grower. We love you. So just throw us some weed and we'll smoke it and have a good time doing it and tell everybody about you. So let us know. The weather. What a fucking turn of events, huh? Here in Illinois. In Indiana too, Michigan.
Oh my
Everybody got
gosh.
whacked. That lake effect snow. All of a sudden we heard it was coming, but they couldn't predict how much was coming, right? Someone
Yes.
said 3 inches. Oh, maybe it'll be 6 inches. Oh, wait, maybe it might be 12 inches. We know we got about 2 inches, right?
Yeah, I would say.
2 inches. But then all of a sudden the temperature dropped, and I felt like it was January, February. I was like, what the hell?
And then
is
everything
going
was
on?
ice.
Yeah, everything was ice. But we're supposed to get 60s on Friday, so
Go figure. Welcome to Chicago.
welcome to Illinois, baby. Ms. Weeman does not like this weather.
No, I do not.
Mm-mm.
I do not.
She likes the pretty snow, but doesn't like when it gets, I would
A
say.
good snowy day is usually 20, 30 degrees.
Yes.
That's fine. But Arctic?
No, Ms. Weeman don't like the
No.
Arctic.
What's
she
the
no
point?
likey.
What is the point?
She no likey.
It's not good for anybody.
No, it's very cold. And it's also getting dark earlier, too.
Ugh.
I mean, it's dark by 5 o'clock.
The dog is so confused.
Yeah, so confused.
It's like, why are you guys up so late?
Yeah.
Because there's just so much awake hours of darkness.
The worst. This
She
is the
hates
worst.
it.
This is
I
the
hate
worst.
it. I'm
This
with
is
you,
the
Yuki.
worst. The worst when the
Oof.
sun goes down at 5 o'clock and it's cold. I could tolerate if it was like 60, fine, I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
But when it gets to this weather
Ugh.
and the sun is gone or the darkness comes in, if anybody out there has any kind of depression on this, smoke a little weed, take a nice hot shower, listen to some good tunes. It will pass.
Mhm.
Spring is right around the corner. Because we were just saying it's June already. You know, when it was summertime, now it's November. seasons come pretty quick.
Yeah.
So, and and just go try to enjoy life as much as possible. Yes, I said I don't like when the dark's at 5 o'clock, but spend some time
Actually get
reflecting.
outdoors, even if
Yeah,
it's cold out.
yeah. Take
If
a
you
nice
really need
walk, but read a good book.
the
Read
sunshine.
have some positive notes around your house. This too shall pass.
Yeah.
this 5 o'clock. Don't in December we have what the winter solstice.
Mhm.
So once the winter solstice is the darkest day of the year, it turns around
It's
and all of a sudden
you're
we
on the
start.
upside.
Yeah, we're on the
Yeah.
upside of life. So just
Yeah.
look at the positivity of life out there and just enjoy it.
It's not
The
forever.
holidays are right around the corner. I know it's not always happiness for everybody, but you know what? It's the time of year where people are a little bit more happier. You know,
Mhm.
Thanksgiving, and then you have all the holidays that come around in December. And I know there's some people right there worried about food and stuff like that. If you're out there and you can help somebody, feed them.
Mhm.
I tell it all the time. I don't loan money out to people, but if you're hungry, I'll feed you. I'll take you for dinner. I'll cook you dinner. I'll always feed somebody and smoke somebody out, right, Ms. Wee Man? I've said that my whole entire life. I can feed you. So if you're hungry out there for some weed, if you need some food, shoot me an email. Mrs. Weeman and I would be happy to donate if you need some food. Okay? I know times are tough right now. We love you out there. Okay? Especially if you need some weed. I got you. I got a whole closet full of weed. Ms. Weeman,
Mr. Weedman.
I have something to share with you. Something that you may or may not like. Mrs. Weeman has a bug phobia, arachnophobia kind of thing, don't you? A little bit. Little bit.
A pretty normal one. Yeah. I think most people are like that.
What if you went walking in a cave,
Mhm.
like we were on a hike, and you're like, oh, let's go in that cave. And all of a sudden you stumbled, and I mean stumbled, upon the world's biggest spider web,
Mm.
home to more than 110,000 spiders.
Oh my God.
It was discovered on in Albania Greek border in a cave somewhere.
Mm.
And they said one of
Like
the
if
world's
you crashed into that, oh, I think I would itch for the rest of my life. I'd be like,
this thing was huge, and there was holes like every 2 or 3 inches, holes with a spider sticking out.
okay. Mm. Big spiders?
All different sizes, and they said probably one of the world's largest spiders lived in there somewhere. 110,000 of them, not like
How do they count? Did
10,000.
someone go in?
They predicted, I think, probably they tried to count. I don't think they messed with the. Here's the crazy thing: the web stretches 106 square meters along the wall of a narrow, low-ceilinged passage near a cave entrance. And it's a jumble of thousands of individual funnel-shaped tissues, the researchers noted. This is the first evidence of a colonial behavior in 2 common spider species and likely represents largest spider web in the world, said leading study author Istvan Juric, associate professor of biology at the Hungarian Sapientia University of Transylvania in Romania. So there is a Transylvania. You always wondered, didn't you, where Dracula, if there was
Oh, I
really a
know there's
Transylvania?
one.
Yeah, Transylvania. So in Romania.
Of course, that's where the spider web is.
Yes, of course.
The
And Dracula
largest.
was right behind it. Count Dracula. I've come to suck your blood with my spider nest. The natural world is still countless surprise in store for us, Uric told Life Science in an email.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's a picture of these spiders, and they are not small.
I don't
During
need
the
to see
visit
it.
to the cave, Uric and his
don't need to
colleagues
see it.
estimated there were about 69,000 specimens of the T. domestica and more than 42,000 specimens of the P. vagans. DNA analysis for the new survey also confirmed that these are the dominant species in the colony, Uric said. The sulfur cave spider colony is one of the largest ever recorded, and the species evolved were not previously known to congregate or cooperate in this way, Uric said. T. domestica and P. vagans are widespread near human dwellings, but the colony is a unique case of 2 species coexisting within the same tissue structure in these huge numbers, she said. It is important to preserve the colony, despite the challenges that may arise from the cave's location between the 2 countries, Uric added. In the meantime, researchers are working on another study that will reveal further details about the inhabitants of the sulfur cave.
We're going to get to know more about who they are and why they coexist. How long they've been there.
What would you do if all of a sudden, like seriously, we
If
talked
I
about
walked
it.
into
If
that,
you walked into that, what the would you do?
that would be like the equivalent of like being dropped off the side of a boat in the pitch black dark, even in the middle of the day, into like the middle of a body of water. That and a bag of spiders would just, I'd have a heart attack. I would just have a heart attack. Be like, I'm just dead. I would
Oh,
I
shit.
would wave my flag. I'd just go out. I'm like, you got me.
Oh my
You got
God.
me. I got nothing. Nothing. Could you imagine walking into that?
I'd freak the hell out.
Like if your face hit it and you're like, oh, what was
Not
that?
just
And like you
face.
turn
You're not just your
and it's like,
face. Your whole
"No."
body's engulfed in it.
Spiders.
Your whole body. You walk into that web.
You know, like those angry spiders that look like they're gonna jump on you.
The ones with their legs.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Come here,
And they actually have
come here."
like eyes and they're like, I see you. When you're about to kill them, they're looking at you.
Oh, you
And
kill
they're like-
spiders? How dare you?
Imagine that, like a whole pack of them at your head.
How about 110,000 of them?
I think you would probably have nightmares about that for a long time.
Nightmares.
But it didn't say that it broke open.
No,
or
no, no,
they
no.
got-
They didn't want to break it open. They left. They wanted to
found
leave
it,
Yes.
like intentionally.
Yeah, I don't even think intentionally. They were going to
Hike.
go through this cave. There were
Ooh.
scientists to find out more about the sulfur cave. And
Oh,
they
they were
walked
researching the
in.
cave.
And they walked in,
I
and
missed
there's
that
that.
part.
There's that.
I was preparing for the spiders. Dang.
You ready to get the show
Yeah.
started?
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Mrs. Weeman's gonna have nightmares tonight.
No, I'm not.
She's gonna wake up.
But-
Oh, spiders!
Mm.
I call them speeders because they run quick as fuck. They shouldn't be called spiders.
Yuki
speeders.
likes to eat them.
Oh, Yuki likes to chase them. She likes to eat any bugs that are crawling on the floor. She's Yuki. She's over
Buggies.
there on the chair over there sleeping. So, all right, let's get the show started.
All right.
The soil in cannabis is grown and affects THC and CBD and terpene levels, federally funded study shows. Hey friends, ready to get nerdy and elevated? We're looking at a cool study from the folks at the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the USDA, and Penn State College of Medicine. Shows the soil your cannabis grows, and yep, the actual dirt under the roots matter. Can have a big impact on THC and CBD, other cannabinoids, terpenes, flavonoids, esters, and so much more. Researchers picked up hemp cultivars, one called Tangerine and the other one called CBD Stem Cell. They grew them side by side in two different field conditions. A conventionally tilled field called CF, standard till the earth, regular soil prep, the old school way. And then a cover crop, no-till field, CC, with practices that promote soil biology, microbes, fungi, organic matter, minimal disturbance. The idea, same genetics, same cultivar, same location-ish, but different soil, health conditions, equals let us isolate soil role. So there's some findings here. Here's where it gets juicy for us growers and weed nerds. For the Tangerine cultivar in the CF tilled setup, CBD levels were about 1.5% higher than the cover crop field for the cultivar. For the CBD stem cell cultivar, the opposite. When grown in the cover crop CC field, the CBD levels doubled compared to the tilled field. CBG, that precursor cannabinoid, you know how we love it, was 3.7% times higher in plants grown in the cover crop field for CBG stem cell. Lovely. And get this, THC, the psychoactive mainstream player, was up 6 times higher in the tilled field, the CF, for the Tangerine cultivar. So basically, poorer soil, tilled soil favored higher THC in at least one cultivar. Richer, biologically active soil favors more CBG or CBD, depending on the cultivar. Soil health changes the chemistry. Why this matters and what you can run with it. As a cultivator or consumer, this tells us soil is not just a medium. It's a major variable shaping how potent, how rich, how terpene flavored your final product is. For outdoor growers, selecting cover crop, no-till, organic-rich practices could shift your cannabinoid profile and terpene profile. The study says the whole soil ecosystem of microbes, fungi, minerals, organic matter is at play. So for people that go and buy weed, when you smell that flower, taste that terpene burst. Some of that comes down to the soil it grew in, not just genetics or how it was dried. For the industry and research, the authors caution that we still need more work on the enzymes pathways, how CBG converts into other cannabinoids, CBD, THC, CBC, and so much more, and how genetics plus soil plus environment all combined. So, some real talk, Mrs. Weedman.
Yeah, Mr. Weedman.
What's your question?
So you're telling me that the dirt under the plant matters more than the strain name sometimes?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like calling the cultivar the band and kind of like the fucking studio, where the band goes and lays the tracks down
Yeah.
and the producer made the record
Mhm.
and they made it sound just right. Right?
Right.
So soil is the studio,
Okay.
right? The studio where we're like right now, we're in a
Yeah.
studio where we
Right.
record.
Right.
That's where the soil is. We're
Okay.
in the ground. We're in the foundation right here. So
And then maybe some fans want like heavier rock and roll sound. So that would be like your THC. And others want like the smooth groove, like CBD.
do your best air guitar for me.
I don't have any idea. I
Yes.
don't think I've ever air guitared. Yeah.
So
Not well,
yes.
anyway.
So next time you see a tag that says organically grown, we see them all over the fucking place, right?
Mhm.
On fucking
Yeah.
grocery store shelves. We, sometimes in cannabis dispensaries. So if you see us, you might want to ask, Ms. Weedman, you might want to ask, how was it grown organically? Do you have any, tell me about like the practices this was
Mhm.
organically grown instead of just taking the word organic by its word,
Right.
Because here, as we know, research is your backing, right?
Mhm.
When you back it up with research. This was a study. So this was a major study. So here's some takeaways. If you're growing, pick soil practice that like cover cropping, no-till, building up that microbial life. It might change your cannabinoid game. If you're consuming, keep in mind those tag claims matter, but so does the soil behind the flower. And for us nerds out there, any of among us that are listening, that means all of us nerds. This is a stepping stone into deeper research of cannabis biosynthesis. So this is the lowdown on how soil affects cannabinoids, terpenes, flavonoids, esters, and stuff. But this was a big study, and it was all reported by Marijuana Moment. So pretty good
Hmm.
study.
Pretty good.
Know what's in your weed. We've talked about that so many times. Know what you're smoking. Times have changed in the last 30, 40, 50 years when it was weed. I love weed. Just want to
Mhm.
smoke weed. But now we know so much more about weed. You should be educating yourself on what you're putting in your body, right?
Mhm.
This is your temple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some new research out right now how tobacco may worsen brain-related outcomes in cannabis users. Tell us about it, Ms. Weedman.
Yeah, so this is a little bit redundant. I think we did the same topic a week or two ago, but this is just a little more data on the study and the research that's happening.
Yep.
So, like we always say, we may repeat topics, but it's because there's newer or more data or a better perspective or just something we think is worth bringing to the table for you
Yep.
guys to hear. So, researchers at McGill University investigated why people who use both cannabis and tobacco tend to have worse mental health outcomes than those who use cannabis alone. They focused on one particular physiological pathway, the brain's endocannabinoid system, which plays a role in mood, memory, and appetite. In particular, they looked at the enzyme fatty acid amide hydrolase, or FAAH. I'm going to say FA, which breaks down the endocannabinoid anandamide, a molecule often linked to good mood and resilience. Low levels of anandamide have been associated with anxiety and depression. They recruited 13 regular cannabis users and split them into two groups: 5 people who used both cannabis and at least one cigarette daily, and 8 people who used cannabis but did not currently use tobacco. They matched the groups for age, sex, and how much cannabis they used to isolate the effects of tobacco. Each participant underwent a PET scan using a tracer that binds to FA. The scans focused on 6 brain regions rich in cannabinoid and nicotine receptors. For instance, the prefrontal cortex, the hippocampus, and the cerebellum. They found that in the group using both cannabis and tobacco, FA levels were consistently higher across all of the regions studied. The difference the difference reached statistical significance in 2 regions: the substantia nigra, involved in reward and movement, and the cerebellum, important for motor control and cognition. Additionally, they observed a positive correlation between the number of cigarettes smoked per day and FA levels in the cerebellum, where more tobacco used higher Fa. Curiously, there was no significant association between how much cannabis was used and users' Fa levels. Higher Fa levels mean more breakdown of anandamide, leading to lower levels of that beneficial endocannabinoid. The authors suggest that this could be the mechanism behind why people who co use tobacco and cannabis often face more severe mental health symptoms, like anxiety and depression, and find it harder to quit. In other words, using tobacco alongside cannabis may worsen brain chemistry in a way that magnifies risks. The authors stress several caveats. The sample size was very small, with only 13 participants, so findings are preliminary. They didn't include a tobacco only group or a non user control group. Therefore, it's unclear whether the Fa increase is due to tobacco alone or the interaction of tobacco and cannabis. The study didn't directly measure participants' mental health symptoms, so it stops short of linking Fa levels directly to clinical outcomes. The authors call for larger studies that include more groups and connect brain chemistry more explicitly with mood and clinical assessments. The study suggests that when someone uses both tobacco and cannabis, the combined use may trigger specific brain chemical changes that could help explain worsened mental health outcomes in these individuals. It doesn't say this definitely causes depression, but it shines light on a plausible biological pathway. So, if you're using cannabis and also smoking tobacco, this research raises a cautionary flag that tobacco might be contributing to brain changes and mental health risks, and identifying this mechanism is an important step toward finding targets for future medications to treat cannabis use disorder, especially among those who co use tobacco. Right now, the only available treatments are behavioral therapies such as counseling.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yes, yes. More knowledge,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, but it is a very, like, preliminary study.
Yes, very
Yeah.
preliminary. But just be
So
careful out there.
it could be misleading.
Yes, it could be. So, as we say, more research.
Mm.
Access to legal marijuana shops is linked to reduced heavy alcohol drinking, federal funded study shows. We're talking a lot about, alcohol lately, because I feel we're moving backwards with cannabis. Once again, moving backwards. It's a fight every day. But alcohol, nobody cares, right?
Mhm.
Kills people all the time. So many different studies show. And alcohol, but marijuana, the devil's lettuce. The devil lettuce. So we're breaking down some fresh green science straight out of Oregon. This one's about cannabis and alcohol. Yep, two worlds that sometimes overlap. But the study says legal weed access might actually cut down on heavy drinking. Pretty wild. The research comes from Oregon State University and the Oregon Public Health Division. It looked at data from 2014 to 2022 using the behavioral risk factor surveillance systems. That's a massive survey. Over 61,000 people shared info on alcohol use, and more than 38,000 of those also reported cannabis use. The question: does access to legal cannabis shops affect heavy drinking? Turns out it does. The research found that odds of heavy alcohol use were lower in areas with more cannabis retail access, especially among adults aged 21 to 24 and 65 and older. So more weed shops nearby seemed to mean less heavy drinking. Now here's the flip. In those same areas, past month cannabis use and frequent cannabis use were higher for all adults except the 18 to 20 group. Makes sense.
Hmm.
They're still age gated from legal purchases.
Mhm.
But for adults who can legally buy when cannabis is easy to get, people use it more often and drink heavily less. Heavily, not just less,
Hmm.
heavily less. I notice it in us.
Mhm.
We don't drink much anymore. I have a beer on a Saturday
Mm.
night.
Me
You
too.
don't even finish your beer anymore.
Mhm.
you know? So that's where the substitution hypothesis comes from. The study suggests that when people have safe legal access to cannabis, they might choose it instead of alcohol for relaxation or recreation. The researchers even called retail access a modifiably community level risk factor, meaning policymakers could actually shape community health outcomes just by how they regulate and distribute cannabis shops. Now, let's take a look at why this all matters. For public health, this could mean fewer hospital visits and risks tied to alcohol abuse. For policymakers, it's a clear sign that legalization isn't just about freedom, it's about access, destiny, and smart retail planning. And it's not destiny. Yes, it's nope.
Yep, nope,
Maybe.
Yep,
I don't know.
nope,
So
nope,
for
nope, nope, nope.
consumers, it means when you walk into a legal dispensary, you might be a part of the cultural shift. One where people reach for flower instead of another round of shots. Ugh, shots. Ugh.
Ugh.
And for growers and retailers, it's a reminder that cannabis plays an important role in the changing social behavior. So safe access and education matter more than ever. But before we all celebrate, there are some caveats. The study doesn't say cannabis is risk-free. More shops did mean more frequent use. And while heavy alcohol use dropped, researchers say the net impact, especially for older adults, still need more investigation. The study also used survey data from just one state, so we can't claim causation yet. Still, this is a major data point. It's federally funded, peer-reviewed, and shows a clear connection between legal access and reduced heavy drinking. And you always say when we read articles that have heavy research, when you say it's federally funded and peer-reviewed, it's up there,
Yeah.
right? That's not nothing that that's the kind of real-world outcome legalization advocates have been talking about for years. So here's the takeaway, folks. Making cannabis legally and safely accessible isn't just good for the economy. It might actually make our communities healthier. When people have real options, they make better choices. So that's the breakdown on Oregon study showing access to legal marijuana shops is linked to reduced heavy alcohol drinking, as reported by Marijuana Moment. Always throwing out the good ones.
Hmm.
So scientists have developed a new glossary of marijuana aromas, right?
Yeah. Are you like very cerebral
A little
right
bit.
now? Yeah.
Yeah. I could smoke some more, though.
I feel like I just have one eyeball.
You're
I
doing
feel
the
like
one-eyed jig.
like a cyclops
I
right
came up
now.
the stairs last night.
I have to like move my head.
I came upstairs last night when I got done the show, and I normally don't smoke a lot when I'm working on the show. I do maybe one or two. We smoked like half of that Vegas candy, and I came upstairs when I was done with the show going, I can't see so good, man.
You had to take a break.
I did. So, new scientists developed, the industry could use better to inform consumers, right?
Yeah, this is
Tell us
kind of
about it.
exciting.
Yeah, it's kind of great news.
Researchers at Oregon State University have created a new Aroma Lexicon for cannabis sativa flower. In essence, it's a standardized glossary of smell descriptors for cannabis, aimed at helping the industry better classify products and helping consumers better understand what they're purchasing. The widely held assumption that terpenes are the chemical compounds often credited for cannabis's aroma. So the wildly held assumption that terpene profiles reliably predict smell is being challenged. This glossary is a foundational step to more standardized sensory descriptions rather than relying on vague strain names or broad marketing terms. Here's how the study was done. The researchers used a panel of 21 trained judges who smelled 91 different cannabis flower samples and selected aroma descriptors they felt applied. From there, the researchers developed a lexicon consisting of 25 defined aroma terms with reference standards. They also compared the sensory results with chemical profiles of the terpenes and volatile sulfur compounds of the samples to see how well chemistry matched smell. And the findings. Out of 8,075 descriptor selections across all samples, 3 aroma terms stood out as especially common: herbal, citrus, and woody. These 3 alone accounted for about 26% of all descriptors used. When it came to predicting smell from chemistry, terpene profiling did show distinct chemical clusters, but terpene profiles alone were poor predictors of how the flower smelled. For example, total terpene concentration did not correlate reliably with how often a given descriptor was chosen. The only terpene that showed consistent association with specific sensory descriptors was terpenoline, which was linked to citrus and chemical aromas. That surprises me. Another notable pattern: high THC and low CBD samples were more often described as skunky or musty and animalic. In contrast, low THC and high CBD samples were more likely described as citrusy, fruity, or candy like. This study signals that the cannabis industry may need better tools and more precise language to talk about aroma, and that just citing terpene content or strain name may not sufficiently convey to consumers what the flower will smell like. For a consumer advocacy or education or from a consumer advocacy or education perspective, aroma is one of the strong predictors of the subjective enjoyment of cannabis. So, helping users understand what they've purchased beyond just THC percentage or strain naming could improve customer satisfaction and reduce misleading marketing. For producers and retailers, a standardized lexicon means you can better communicate product characteristics, differentiate products, and perhaps also help guide breeding, harvesting, drying, and storage practices to optimize aroma profiles. The study mentions that ergonomic variables like farm origin, harvest maturity, and drying methods warrant further exploration too. So, what's next, you might ask? Well, the lexicon is in its first phase. The authors say that it's not yet a definitive standard, but it is a data driven start. They sampled 91 inflorescence samples with 21 judges, which is a solid but still limited base, and it's based upon diversity of cannabis aromas. The chemical side, since terpene profiles alone didn't predict sensory profiles well, the researchers suggest that other compound classes like esters, aldehydes, and other volatiles might be important and need some investigation. Future research should include consumer hedonic data to connect aroma descriptors with what users actually like. And larger, more globally representative samples are crucial. Here's what you should remember: smell matters, not just THC percentage. The scent of the flower is a meaningful part of the experience. The current approach of relying on terpene percentage or broad strain names might not fully capture how a product smells. A new standardized vocabulary of 25 aroma terms is being developed so that when you see a label or hear a retailer describe citrus, woody, herbal, those terms have been scientifically defined and tested, creating reliability and predictability in your purchase. As the industry evolves, labels and marketing that focuses on aroma might be more consistent and meaningful, which will help consumers make better choices. If you're discussing or recommending cannabis, you might ask, what does it smell like? A sensory science, not small talk.
Hmm.
So here are the 25 aroma descriptors from the lexicon developed in the study.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. Herbal, citrus, woody, skunky, musty, animalic, fruity, candy-like, chemical, floral, baking spice, camphor or mothball, grassy, pine, sandalwood, savory, berry, cakey, tropical fruit, think guava, passion fruit, dried herb, waxed or aldehydic, pungent, fresh herb, vegetable, raw vegetable,
Hmm.
material, as in industrial.
Hmm.
So try challenging yourself the next time you toke.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Have some fun with it.
I think that would be very interesting. We have read articles about this before in studies that have
Yeah.
shown that your nose should be a big part of what you consume. It should
Toucan
appeal
Sam.
to the smell will tell you, and I really do. I get in the closet and I sniff the jars and I say, "This is what I'm smoking tonight. What is
Yeah.
it? I don't care. The smell is right."
What does Toucan Sam say? Follow your nose, it always knows.
The nose always knows.
The nose always knows. Great stuff, Ms. Wee Man.
Yeah.
Before we start political, state, and business news, smoke break, smoke break, smoke break.
Okay.
So, while Mrs. Weedman's going in, I'll throw out some political, state, and business news. An attorney representing cannabis business is suing the federal government and says he's hopeful, but honest, somewhat nervous, the Supreme Court of the United States will take up the case challenging federal prohibition under the Gonzalez versus Rocky precedent. Stay tuned. Big weed policy waves could be coming. A new bill in Illinois House, Bill 4193, was introduced to beef up the Restore, Reinvest, and Renew the 3R program by creating a community steering committee and program board change grant funding rules and shifting more power to local nonprofits. The vibe, more community control over cannabis tax funds. Stay tuned. This could matter.
Yummy.
Delicious. Heads up, Illinois Department of Agriculture Division of Cannabis Regulation just announced it's stopping recurring background checks for principal officers, board members, agents in charge, and agents already affiliated with a license, or ownership structure. From now on, you only need to check when submitting an initial application with a new association. The Marijuana Policy Project is sounding the alarm. Resisting efforts to overturn state legalization laws must be a priority for the entire industry. They warn that rollout campaigns in states like Maine and Massachusetts could embolden neo-prohibitionists, hurt public health, kill jobs, and send folks back into the unregulated supply chains. So yeah, we've got to stay vigilant, united, and as Mr. Weedman likes, loud. That's fucked up. All the hard work, all the fighting, going out there and fighting for cannabis freedom, for freeing the plant, stomping the stigma, education, freeing the 40,000 prisoners that are locked up for nonviolent cannabis crimes. And it just feels like we're just going backwards to that, to just the cannabis prohibition era again. It's, listen, you're never going to stop weed. You can't. You've tried. You spent trillions of dollars. It's here forever. It's been here for thousands of years, millions of years on this planet, but usable since the Chinese era in 5000 BC when they were bringing it over. And I'm telling you, you will never stop us. You won't. You can't. You've been trying and you've failed miserably. Move forward, Maine and Massachusetts and all the states thinking about going backwards. Move forward with progression. Move forward with cannabis legalization. Move forward with consumption lounge. Move forward with home grow. Move forward with letting people grow outdoors. Move forward with people being able to make money at this business. Not just certain people. Everybody. I told you once and I'll tell you again, this is not for a get rich quick or get rich period. This is for everybody to make a good living on. How long have I been saying this?
Yep, that's how that's always been.
Right. So the U.S. Supreme Court just granted requests from the Department of Justice under the Donald Trump administration to extend the briefing deadlines in the key case United States versus Hemeni, which will decide whether people who use cannabis can legally own firearms. Stay sharp. This could ripple in both grain and gun print. In Oklahoma, the adult use legalization initiative led by Oklahomians for responsible cannabis action got pulled. They failed to submit the 172,993 signatures by the deadline. So the 2026 ballot measure is officially dead. For now, it's the same fight, just a different day. In Michigan, the cannabis industry is suing the state to block the proposed 24% wholesale tax on marijuana it'll kick in on January 1st. The tax stacked on top of current 10% excise tax plus 6% sales tax is meant to raise $420 million for the potholes. But operators say it's unconstitutional and a black market magnet. This could be a major movement for the green game. I'm glad they're suing the state. Keep on suing the state. Keep on. More people sue. More owners come at you. More people go after what they just did to your industry. They don't deserve the money. In San Diego, city officials are rolling out a proposal to crack down hard on illegal cannabis delivery services attributed to hurting legal dispensaries and draining tax revenue while trying to pull the plug on the budget hole. Time to ask, is it more busted trucks or boosting legal buds? In over a dozen U.S. states during 2024, arrests for cannabis has made up nearly half of all the drug-related arrests. Can I say that again for all the people in the back? In over a dozen U.S. states during 2024, arrests for cannabis made up nearly half of all drug-related arrests. And in 5 states, it exceeded 50%. In states where weed's illegal, it's still the primary target of the war on drugs. So everybody, time to ask yourself, if it's mostly about pot, What's the point of the front lines? In Kentucky, lawmakers are raising eyebrows about legal medical cannabis gummies that look identical to buying a thing of Skittles. Andy Bescher says the state's program is flexible and will take a look at packaging so it looks like medicine, not candy. In Nebraska, the Nebraska Medical Cannabis Commission declined to change the draft regulations despite 590 plus public comments urging looser rules. So in Nebraska, you're going to have no flower, no vaping, tight plant counts, strict controls. Looks like the voters said yes to medical cannabis, but the regulators hit the brakes. Stay tuned. Sometimes the green wave turns into the drip, the slow drip. According to a recent Gallup poll, about 70% of Americans support legalizing cannabis. Even though support among Republicans has dipped, the vibe, weeds mainstream, the culture shifted. But party politics? Mrs. Weedman, stand up.
Okay.
Can you do the hokey pokey with me? Do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's our government clowning around.
Do the hokey.
If you're not on YouTube,
Do
you
the
didn't see Mr. and Mrs.
hokey
Weedman
pokey.
doing the hokey pokey.
I miss that. That was like block parties as a
Yeah,
kid.
I know.
Bring back the hokey pokey.
Turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. That was the first time we ever got up from our chairs. Oh, you have to go roll a quick joint or get
Yeah.
a lighter or something. But like,
You never get up.
I very rarely get up. Once, I think, during our 420 episode when we had High Focus Media on for one of our 420 episodes, we ran out of weed. We had 9 joints rolled, and I had to go roll like 4 more. And you're talking and trying to lead the show and totally fucked everything up.
Of course. Of course. This isn't my gig.
No, I fucked everything up, not you.
Oh.
I got up and I should have had you go roll the joint.
Yeah, you should. That would have made sense.
In Virginia, newly elected Abigail Spanberger has pledged support for legalizing adult use cannabis retail sales with a focus on a market that's safe for consumers, transparent for businesses, and fair to entrepreneurs. Time to ditch the possession-only limbo and roll out the regulated area. In New Jersey, the incoming governor, Mickey Shirelli, is backing the legalization of home cannabis cultivation. Good for you. Houseplants, backyard harvest, the whole DIY vibe. It's a big shift for the Garden State. Legal sales are live, but growing at home, not yet. This could change the game for home growers. So, kind of funny to all you men out there. If you just heard that little banter between Mrs. Weedman and I when she thought I told her that she fucked up, but I actually covered myself and said, no, I fucked up. So it's a learning experiment if you all caught that in a couple of minutes ago. So just remember, men, it's never your partner's fault. Always your fault.
Get out of here.
Now over to you, Mrs. Weedman.
I've got some more political, state, and business news. One of the architects of the Agriculture Improvement Act of 2018 says the surge of intoxicating hemp-derived products wasn't a loophole. It was intentional. Steve Bevin, who helped draft the hemp language, asserts Congress meant to include extracts, derivatives, and cannabinoids. The real issue, though, the FDA still hasn't set quality and safety rules. A coalition of 39 U.S. attorney generals, including Dave Sunday, are urging Congress to shut the loophole in the 2018 Farm Bill that has allowed ultra-potent hemp-derived THC products like Delta 8, 10, and THCO to flood gas stations and appeal to kids. We're going to talk about this. There is a website. We're going to
talk about it. We'll get to it. Yeah,
all right. We've got some,
we got some
information for you guys at the end of the show. So we've got some take action links and things like that about the current situation happening.
Yes. Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Got you.
Yeah.
We got it covered.
All right, Mr. Weedman, moving on. The 2025 harvest in California's Emerald Triangle is shaping up to be legendary. Ideal weather, top-tier genetics, and massive outdoor hash potential. If the green gods are smiling this year, those legacy growers might just remind everyone who taught the world all about dank. Support for federal cannabis legalization among Republicans has dropped from 55% in 2023 down to just 40% in 2025, the lowest level since 2015. What the heck is going on? A major trade group, including Coca-Cola, Nestle, and General Mills, is pushing Congress hard to ban intoxicating hemp THC products. They say the 2018 Farm Bill's hemp loophole opened a wild west of Delta 8, Delta 10, and other cannabinoids. So now we have the snack and soda giants acting as the hemp police. Yeah, because they're suffering.
Fuck them guys.
They just don't want competition. In Nebraska, Attorney General Mike Hilgers has publicly labeled cannabis as a poison and warned people who buy it from Nebraska's Omaha Tribe Reservation, where the tribe plans to have legal market. They do so at their own peril, he says. What a drama queen. In South Dakota, the medical... I mean, really.
Hey, Mike Hilger.
You're a
You're a
drama
fucking
queen.
drama queen. Mrs. Weedman said so.
In South Dakota, the Medical Marijuana Oversight Committee approved 11 new motions pushing for tighter rules on medical cannabis and hemp products, with themes ranging from THC caps to limiting hemp-derived products in smoke shops. I just felt the need to do the David Muir. If you're watching us on YouTube, now Channel 7 News in Chicago, the newscasters are doing the David Muir
Show
arm
everybody how
pose.
they do
This
the-
is it.
that's
Oh,
it.
I'm doing it.
The arm pose.
I'm going to bring you the news.
Hold on, I'm gonna take a picture of
Oklahoma just expanded its impaired driving. Oh, but he's very dramatic. Impaired driving laws to cover cannabis. Drivers can't be high, and even passengers lighting up on the car could cost the driver a fine. Open cannabis containers up front, also a ticket. Their aim? More safe drivers. In Michigan, broader towns like Coldwater and Menominee, locals are hitting the brakes on cannabis shops. These places have more dispensaries per capita than most and thousands of out-of-state customers, and some say the vibe is shifting. You drive through and you get the impression that all they do is sell dope. It looks like the green tide rolled over the state line with a welcoming mat, and it is starting to look a little bit worn
Ooh.
out. In Missouri, the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services is shaking up its cannabis microbusiness program, filing amendments to crack down on predatory practices like frontmen, exploitation of social equity licenses, and loopholes letting in ineligible players. When the green scene says equity, the regulators are saying we mean it.
We mean it.
A new Florida House bill, HB 389, would add marijuana to the list of banned smoking substances in all the same public places where tobacco is barred, like streets, sidewalks, beaches, parks, airports, schools, and shared indoor spaces. So heads up, your puff break on the beach might need a permit next time. In Michigan, the Michigan Cannabis Regulatory Agency is asking dispensaries to report customers who buy above legal possession amounts, even though the shop is still allowed to make the sale. Go figure. So your, quote, dealer becomes the hall monitor? That's a weird flex, Michigan. Sorry. In California, Treasurer Fiona Ma pulled no punches. She says the adult use law failed small farmers and handed big corporations the keys, and the state should just start over. When legalization leaves the little guy behind, you know it is time to get back to the drawing board.
I like Fiona Ma.
The beer industry's trade group is calling out bad actors in the hemp-derived THC world, accusing them of marketing high-potency edibles and drinks to kids and exploiting regulatory loopholes. When the folks who sell you the six-pack are throwing shade at weed gummies, you know that signals game on for the big players because they're shaking. Weed's replacing booze. Yep. Mr. Weedman, it's back to you.
Thank you, Ms. Weedman. States are struggling to nail down when a driver's too high to get behind the wheel. Testing for blood levels of THC doesn't reliably indicate impairment. And laws vary across the board. In Ohio, over 40% of fatal crash victims tested positive for active THC. Heads up, when you spark, think before you spin the wheel. Cureleaf's CRO Robert Ciccarone says New York is poised to become the best cannabis market on the planet. Citing late-stage rollout, New York City's culture and gripe or the West Coast saturation. Oof, those are some harsh words. At the business summit, he noted, get ready, California, you're going to be mad about this. At the business summit, he noted, New York brands have edge in flower, while California brands may dominate edibles. Really? I don't know anybody in the Green Triangle, Humboldt County. I think we could put you to the test on just them alone. Will
Right,
wreck
right.
your shop. I don't know what you're talking about. Just because you left California, Cureleaf, you didn't like it over there because everybody knew you were a punk. You went to New York, you ran in New York instead. So don't call out California flower, some of the best in the world. They are known for their grow. I will always stick up for California weed, baby, right there. In Nebraska, the Omaha tribe says it can legally sell medical cannabis, but the state government is threatening to block Nebraskans from buying in on tribal land. Sovereignty meets state drag. Folks, when you're high and legalish in one zone and criminal in the next, you know things are getting a little sticky. In San Antonio, a 1-year-old girl ingested cannabis edible, and the man caring for her, 22-year-old Jacob, was arrested and charged with reckless child endangerment. When your sugar berry gummy turns into Tyler's surprise snack, yikes! Keep the edibles locked up, folks. It's fucked up. That's what gives cannabis a bad name.
Bad name.
Yeah,
Yep.
Stuff like that. Normal just announced its 2025 Cannabis Consumer Survey, inviting users and non-users alike to share their thoughts on rescheduling, expungent, and product excesses. Survey closes November 15th. One lucky participant will win $100. Hot take could honestly help make the law. Might as well hit the link while you're chilling. Massachusetts is edged closer to allowing social cannabis consumption spots, bars or lounges where you buy and blaze at the same time. The draft rules would make Mass the 11th state to go this route. Soon you might drop in a high pub instead of just a high tea. But if they go backwards on their laws, this ain't even going to happen. I don't know how it could happen. So in Wisconsin, multiple Democrat candidates for governor are backing the cannabis legalization, and not just for fun. They want to tax the weed and use it as revenue to expand broadband access across the state. So, yep, smoke a joint, surf the web. Wisconsin might make it happen. That'd be cool. Use it for the people. A new poll finds Ohioans support opening more cannabis shops in the state, and they believe it boosts the economy. Time to tap the green market, Ohio style. Federal officials just revised sentencing guidelines, shifting from duty quantity to role someone played. Couriers and low-level actors could face significantly lighter base offenses levels now. So if you weren't the ringleader, but just the guy who handed the bag, your sentence might not hit like it used to. That's cool. A former bud tender is suing Story Cannabis across 3 states, claiming the company awfully withheld tips and skimmed from the tip pool. Supervisors and managers allegedly snagged portions that should have gone to the frontline employees. Chips should fuel the good vibes, not power someone else's bonus. Anda Pharma, a UK-based biotech firm, is using full pharmaceutical rigor to develop CBD-based drug for women, health issues like endometriosis and chemo-related pain, and it just dosed its first human subjects. When your CBD bottle starts acting like prescription, that's the big league, not backyard brownies. Friends of ours we had on the show, the Dynavap Von GX is the battery-free dry herb vape celebrating the brand's 10-year mark. Congratulations,
Nice.
George and team. 10 years, big deal.
Yeah.
You mark with the sharpest device yet. A steel and titanium build, torch powered with the signature click, huge tip for big rips, and compatible with water pipes. When your vape gets tougher than your gym shoes, you know it's fucking serious. So congratulations, George, on 10 years and team. We got to meet you, have you on the show. Great facility up in Wisconsin. You guys are good peeps up there. Monterey County, once the titan of California's legal weed game, is crashing hard. From leading the states as packaged cannabis by 2020, production fell 43% packaged goods and sank 72%, and tax revenue plunged 80% between 2021 and 2024. Big greenhouse dreams turned into ghost rows. Turned out California golden weed boom had more boom than bust. And here's where it backfired. After 2 years of blood, sweat, and tears, Missouri's cannabis microbusinesses are finally turning the corner. Many small-scale growers and product makers who invested life savings and weathered the storms got state approval in September. And now first harvests are starting. Whether your greenhouse survives a tornado and a licensed roller coaster, yeah, you earned the first weed cutter. In Brooklyn, a kidnapping probe took a wild turn. Authorities uncovered 644 pounds of illegal cannabis flower plus THC products in a basement safe room and connected vehicle. 3 arrests were made and the bust unfolded. When a case starts with kidnapping and ends with cannabis warehouse, talk about an unexpected pivot. All right, all you burner stoners and potheads out here, I waited till the end of the political state and business news to talk about the state of the hemp industry here in the United States of America. Ready? I broke down a bunch of different articles, and I'm going to throw some stats and data at you. So it's a shame what's going to happen right now. So let's start. We've been talking about it for months, longer than months, that states were banning hemp derived THCA and THC, and you saw Delta 8 getting on fire, Delta 10, all the other different deltas, and some other cannabinoids, HHC, THCO, THCP, whatever. They're all trying to ban everything, right? Well, now the government's shut down for 40 days, about to open back up with the signing of this clean, whatever they call it, a CR, and in they snuck the hemp law, the reconfiguration of the 2018 hemp bill. So let's talk about a couple things here. The Senate just cleared a big spending bill that includes a sweeping ban on THC-rib hemp products, but GOP Senator Rand Paul isn't going down without a fight. He's filed an amendment to strike the provisions and may stall the whole bill if the leadership won't play ball. When one senator says you're killing jobs and the rest say you're blocking government, tensions get extra smoky. I saw his speeches on the House floor, on the Senate floor. He was ripping up, man. He killed it for the hemp industry. So if all you were out there, give a little shout out to Rand Paul out there. Senator Ted Cruz, not a big fan, but whatever, is throwing a shade at the federal THC ban provision, saying that one-size-fits-all approach ignores state nuance and it disempowers voters. He backed Texas's own path with age limits, synthetic THC bans, and local control over blanket bans. The deal to reopen the government just dropped a bomb on the hemp world, okay? Donald Trump is backing the provisions that would ban nearly all hemp-derived THC products, redefining hemp to exclude anything over 0.3% THC. So the president, who legalized hemp back in 2018, is now trying to wipe most of it out. Classic. Fucking classic. This is going to kill Minnesota. A federal shutdown deal draft could kill Minnesota's booming THC seltzer and edible industry, says local experts. Don't forget, they just went wreck. They're still not even there yet. One store's opened up. Cultivation's not quite there yet. All these breweries that are making THC hemp drinks. The provision of this would ban, and it would destroy Minnesota's THC seltzer. And there's so many breweries. It's a huge market.
Mm-hmm.
And more than a dozen lawyers tied to hemp businesses are slamming a congressional push to ban nearly all THC-rich hemp products, calling it overboard and disastrous. They argue it would punish responsible commerce, wreck state regulatory systems, and decimate hundreds of thousands of jobs. Not just Minnesota, Florida, Texas, all the states that cannabis is still illegal in, that you can get 10 milligram gummies, or you can get THC drinks in the Carolinas and Tennessee. You were just in Tennessee not too long ago. What did you see?
There was hemp everywhere.
Everywhere.
Sold everywhere. As THC.
Right. Every state, it's legal. There's someone selling it, whether you're in a legal market or still a non-legal market. Hemp is everywhere, and you can get drinks, and you can get THC and THCA, and you can get other minor cannabinoids in these states that you can't get your medicine in because you can't go to a dispensary because it's not just there. You have to cross state lines, and you could get busted crossing state lines. So at least you had the opportunity to get hemp, or get hemp delivered to your home. You can order stores, places sell it online. You were getting educated, not going to gas stations, finding reputable sources, COAs, and we were learning this new industry. That here is some context around the proposed new federal ban on hemp-derived THC products. And I've talked about a lot of these stats over the years. The broader hemp industry supports around 330,000 jobs.
Wow.
Now, the cannabis industry, the legal cannabis market, over 400,000 jobs, 460,000 jobs.
Wow.
It's close to over 800,000 jobs. You're going to wipe 330,000 of them out. In this economy right now, that's just dog shit. You're going to wipe that out. Not even care. The U.S. industrial hemp market for non-intoxicating uses like fiber, seed, and CBD was valued at about $1.6 billion in 2023. Would forecast that they're going to shoot up by 2030 of $6.2 billion.
Yeah.
By 2030 for that one line. Okay. Analysts say the hemp-derived THC segment, gummies, vape, beverages, etc., could reach $13.5 billion in the USA. The total dollar amount of the industry, though, right now is $28 billion. You're just going to wipe out. Why this matters. If a federal ban wipes out the intoxicating hemp side of the equation, hundreds of thousands of jobs in cultivation, processing, distribution, and retail could be at risk. Businesses built around hemp-derived THC, often outside traditional cannabis dispensaries, could vanish like that overnight. Done. Goodbye. Economic activity and tax revenue tied to these products would shrink dramatically, affecting states with large hemp THC products economies. So basically, if you have a state like Texas that has a very small medical, that state alone was doing $8.5 billion. How much sales tax revenue is coming from that? Going to be gone too. You ain't going to be able to fix your potholes.
Right.
Texas. So, where was I? I had some good points here. So, I did. I just lost my train of thought because I was getting in the zone. That weed is... economic activity and tax revenue tied to these products would shrink dramatically, affecting states with large hemp THC product economies. So yes, the proposed ban isn't just about limiting a part of the equation. It's about wiping out an entire ecosystem. When your market is worth billions, supports hundreds of thousands of jobs, and now might be legislated out of existence. This is a big fucking deal, everybody. A big fucking deal. So what we all need to do is keep our feet on the ground and your roots in the green. And Mrs. Weeman's going to tell you where you can go to make sure this doesn't happen.
Yep.
Tell them about it, Ms. Weeman.
You can go to the U.S. Hemp Roundtable. So this is an organization that is pushing for advancements in safety and protocol and controls over the hemp and CBD industry. So U.S. Hemp Roundtable can be found at hempsupporter.com. Click on the Federal Action tab, and then you'll click on the urge Congress to stop the hemp ban. And it's super simple. There's a pre-formatted letter. It is already connected to the people it needs to go to. It is asking you to effectively, you're going to use your voice to protect access to hemp products. Ask your senators to stop the ban on hemp and vote yes on Senator Paul's amendment today using the form, and then call Capitol Hill switchboard and request to speak with the office of your senators today. Their number is 202-224-3121. And then here on the website, there's a message. It's already composed. It says, hemp helps. Vote yes with Senator Paul. And it outlines all the things that it needs to outline to help protect the hemp industry. And there's a whole message formatted. You enter your name, address, email address, and boom, it gets sent off to everybody. I mean, it will take you 3 minutes to read it and enter. And hopefully, I read that every senator has to get him, that has to agree for it to move forward or to get banned.
We shall see.
Yeah.
This is fucked up, everybody.
Yeah.
They're taking more of our rights away. They're taking more of what we love so much. And especially
it's a big deal.
This is a big deal. This ain't some like run of the mill where we're doing like a couple $100,000 a year and it's fucking shit up. This is, people need this medicine, and people need even not just for medicine, just because they enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's our right, our choice. So now what you're going to do, government, here's what you're going to do now. You're going to force people to go, if they don't know anybody that home grows and traditional market wise, they're going to go to the back alleys and go see Dove Boy. Rest in peace, Dove Boy. No, he didn't die. I'm just kidding. He's just not on the show anymore. They're going to go see Dove Boy. Okay. In the back alley deals. And this is what you want. So why? So you can bust people again and throw them in prison? Your thoughts here, government, are fucked up. And we keep on voting you people in. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I have no respect for anybody in government anymore. I'm not affiliated with any party anymore. I'm only affiliated with the weed party. Okay? I'm telling you, I'm tired of this government fucking around. Both sides, all of them, they all suck. I can sit here and argue for hours upon this. Just trust me, they all suck. They don't care about us. Okay? They don't. They don't. Sorry, because if they did, they'd listen. And they don't. So let's move on. Enough of me bantering and ranting about shittiness. Let's get positive. But here, Mrs. Weeman's going to teach you something real quick. Mr. Weeman's not on Instagram or Facebook anymore because they banned me for life. But there's some ways to get around some of this content now. So we found an article. There's four restriction-proof ways to get cannabis content seen
On social media
on social media.
platforms.
Tell them about them,
Right.
Ms. Wayman.
Well, with mainstream platforms tightening rules and enforcement, cannabis brands are strengthening visibility by pairing ads, paid ads that is, with low cost, high control channels. All right, let's be real. Marketing cannabis online these days feels like trying to sneak a joint past airport security. You might get away with it, but odds are someone's going to shut you down. Between social media bans, ad restrictions, and those mysterious algorithm updates that seem to hate fun, getting your content seen is tough. Luckily, we have this article to share covering 4 ways to make your cannabis content basically restriction proof. Think of it as a stoner's guide to outsmarting the algorithm. Tip 1: own your feed. Most people forget that their website already comes with a secret weapon, something called RSS. Now, if you're thinking RSS, is that some new cannabinoid? No. It stands for really simple syndication, which is basically a fancy way of saying your post can automatically show up anywhere that is subscribed to your feed. So instead of begging social media to let you post about weed, let RSS do the heavy lifting. If it lives in your feed, it can live beyond your website. Boom. Algorithm dodged. Next up, 2, be consistent, not just loud. You can shout out, or you can outshout the platform. You can't outshout the platforms. Woo.
I tried.
Yeah.
I banned me for
Yeah.
life.
So stop trying. Instead, think like your favorite bud tender. Show up every day, keep it chill, keep it reliable. It's about rhythm, not hype. A steady blog, a weekly email, a regular post, it all adds up because in the end, your audience doesn't need fireworks. They need to know you're still there when the smoke clears. 3, borrow somebody else's crowd. Dispensaries, retailers, your buddy who runs that cannabis cooking blog, they already have followers who trust them. So team up, write a co-blog, do a joint newsletter. Pun very much intended. And tap into their audience. It's like the marketing version of passing the joint around. Everybody gets a hit. And finally, the toughest one: don't let your ego drive the content bus. Translation: sometimes the post you're so proud of, the one your perfect branding and your clever captions, it flops. Meanwhile, a goofy meme you made in 30 seconds is a total hit,
Oh my
right?
God, yes.
So listen to your audience. If they share it, save it, tag their friends, that's your signal. They're basically saying, hey, more of this, please. So here's the big takeaway: you don't need to fight the algorithm, just sidestep it. Own your content channels, stay consistent, share the mic with partners, and let your fans tell you what hits. That's how you keep your cannabis brand visible, authentic, and most importantly, restriction proof. And honestly, if you can pull that off without getting shadow banned, you deserve a trophy, or at least a nice fat joint.
Love it. Love it. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah.
Did it help you, Ms. Weeman?
Yeah, I think
Nice.
that's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
International news. BioVax Unlimited via Sudbury Breath Life Science just locked in an exclusive deal with Cureleaf International to import, manufacture, and distribute the Q medical inhalation device, the QMID, for medical cannabis liquid inhalants in Australia, set to launch November 1st, 2025. So it did. Shout out to Tez. In Sierra Leone, a deadly synthetic drug called Kush, not the cannabis kind, is devastating youth, while the government says full cannabis legalization isn't on the table yet. Acknowledges the crisis may spark reform. When Kush makes the real weed look like mellow cousin, you know the debate just flipped its grip. The Expo Cannabis Brazil 2025 lands in Sao Paulo from November 14th to the 16th in Sao Paulo Expo, Latin America's largest cannabis fair, packed with research, live music, policy forums, the new B2B cannabis business hub, and more than 300 exhibitors. If you thought business trips were boardrooms and bad hotel coffee, try Brazilian ganja galore. Sweets, reggae, and flower all in one hall. Canada's budget 2020-25 targets a hefty $4.4 billion in savings over 4 years by reducing the reimbursement cap of medical cannabis from $8.50 to $6 per gram for veterans and Royal Canadian Mounted Police members. So yeah, the government says, thanks for your service, but hands you a smaller cannabis budget. In Germany, The government backed a full legalization and instead unveiled a watered down cannabis plan. Possession up to 25 grams is okay. Private cultivation allowed, but widespread shop sales? Nope, not a nilch. The shift came after talks with Brussels, so Germany's going half green. Grow your plant, puff the bud, but don't expect to stroll into a weed shop just yet. Fine, home grow. Everybody learn to grow, or find people that know how to grow and support them. I love this. This is when a country just gives you the old fuck you. Meta is getting a red card from Brazil. Red card. The Brazilian government says Meta must reinstate nearly 50 educational cannabis-related accounts or face legal action.
Hmm.
When a country tells a tech giant stop muting weed voices or get sued, you know the algorithm just tested its boundaries. If every country did this, not because it's just weed, because it's weed.
People want it.
Let other countries, if the United States went to fucking Mark Zuckerberg and just said, hey, Zuckerberg, we're going to ban you for 90 days, close you down for, you know how much money he would lose in advertising revenue? If you don't allow free speech and people who support cannabis, whether it's federally legal or not, we're not going to shut you down because of that, because it's people's right to freedom of what they want to say on your platform. As long as it doesn't offend anybody, harm anybody, bully anybody.
Somebody made the rules, right?
Fuck the rules. Zuckerberg.
But that's the problem.
Yes. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum slammed the idea of war on drugs that focuses on killing traffickers and fascists, illegal and counterproductive. She argues past wars only boosted violence. In Jamaica, Hurricane Melissa ripped through that as a Category 5, obliterating cannabis farms and hitting Rastafari communities hard. Legal growers have just 2 to 3 months supplies left. Oh no. And informal farmers lost everything. When the island where ganja is woven into the culture becomes a weedless zone overnight, this is a big ouch. So I have a solution. Just a little one. Canada, send a few million grams there ASAP because you wasted 3.5 billion grams a few years back. And do not send them the old shit. Give them the freshie. Because here in the U.S., we should do it, but we suck. We're going backwards in this country in weed laws. So Canada to the rescue. Help out our Jamaican brothers and sisters over there and send them a few million grams of weed so they can practice their religion Rastafarian and smoke weed in peace. Because 2 to 3 months, there's going to be some riots going on if they don't get their weed. So Canada, come through in the clutch. Ship it. You can. We can't. The United States can't because we suck. So Canada to the rescue. Some things I love in life. Mexican food, marijuana, and Mexican folks. Three great things in my life. And Mexican food we love. Oh, God, do I love Mexican food, especially when you make tacos. Marijuana, which came where? From Mexico, right? Into here. And then Mexican people. I've made many of good friends in my lifetime, worked with some of the greatest Mexican folks, their culture, they're just love them. So tell us about Mexican food and marijuana, how they go together.
All right, folks. If you ever find yourself staring at a plate of tacos and thinking, this could really use a companion, we might have found the perfect pairing. Because according to an article from the French Toast, the combo of cannabis and Mexican food might be more than just a late night snack quest. Yep, we're talking flavor, science, and a little bit of yes, please, for your senses. Let's explore why this pairing hits so well. Spicy foods, think jalapenos, chipotle, salsa with a serious kick. It all contains capsaicin. That heat maker triggers your body's endorphins, which can amplify the euphoric or relaxing effects of cannabis. And don't forget the fat. Mexican dishes often have cheese, avocado, sour cream, all fatty goodness that may help THC bind better in your body, making the whole experience deeper or longer lasting. Yep, that nacho plate might just be the smartest edible sidekick you could ever have. Now let's talk about how to match the dish and the strain. Yep, we're getting fancy. For lighter dishes, like a fresh ceviche or fish tacos, the article suggests fruity, uplifting strains like Blue Dream or Pineapple Express. These accent citrusy, fresh flavors. But for something heavier, say a spicy carne asada or chile rellenos, you might go with earthy, relaxing strains like Northern Lights or OG Kush, so the food and the vibes can lean into that warm, mellow space. Basically, Taco Tuesday just leveled up. And there's more than flavor and chemistry, there's culture. Both Mexican cuisine and cannabis use have strong roots in social sharing, celebration, and community. So when you're sitting around with friends, dipping chips in guac, passing the joint or vape, having bold salsa, it all feels like ritual. It's not just munchies, it's connection. Texture matters too. Crunchy tortillas, tender meat, creamy avocado. This will work well with your cannabis heightened senses.
Mm.
The food looks better, tastes sharper, and the whole meal becomes a little more vivid. And if you're planning a chill toke session with dinner, pick your dish and pick your strain like you're a sommelier. For weed and tacos, though. Consider the heat level, the richness, the textures, not just the THC. And remember, it's as much about who you're with and how the food makes you feel as what's on the plate. So the next time someone asks, what do you want to eat after a good sesh? Instead of whatever is open, you might say, let's hit a taco spot and match our strain to our meal. Hey, your taste buds and your brain might thank you.
There you go. Love it.
Mhm.
Mexican food and marijuana.
It sounds great.
Ugh.
Want to go get tacos?
It's a little late, but tomorrow I will.
Come on, late night
Absolutely.
run.
Absolutely. Here in the South Side, there's always a
There's always a place to get a
taco spot
taco.
to go get a taco or burrito or
Mm.
something, you know. So, great show, Mrs. Weedman.
Always, Mr. Weedman.
You know what? That's the end, though. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
You got anything else to say?
It is Veterans Day.
Yeah.
So, all of you veterans out there, thank you. We really appreciate your sacrifice and your care for our country and our safety. Our son is a veteran, and we thank him especially. Yeah, so thank you for your service and your sacrifice.
All your veterans out there, you deserve free weed.
Yeah,
Period.
lots of it.
Yes. If you want
Endless supplies.
Yes, you should never have to pay for weed.
Veterans should have like a little basket at their front door that donations of weed could just be dropped off.
The weed man will or Mrs. There's a weed man or Mrs. Weed man just dropping
Someone
off
just delivers a nice little package a week.
Little care package. But they should never have to pay. There should be just a scoop up for any veteran that comes in.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the house,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So, well, Mrs. Weed man, that's the end of the show. Man, another banger. Everybody out there, I love you so much. Thank you for listening. Thanks for everybody out there. Be kind to one another and go have some fucking fun. We love you. As Paulie always says, smoke smart. Puff, puffing away.
Puff, puff, pass.
Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.